Hallo und willkommen. Mein Name ist Gabriele Bodmer von wegezurwandlung.de und heute habe ich einen ganz besonderen Gast und das ist die Sioux Storm aus USA. Im Moment lebt sie in Malaysia. Und die Sioux ist Künstlerin, sie ist Heilerin und sie ist Schamanin. Und sie verbindet diese Dinge auf eine sehr interessante und faszinierende Weise, weil die Sioux macht Porträts von Menschen mit ihren Krafttieren. Und manche haben sich vielleicht schon gefragt, was ist das hinter dir für ein Bild, wenn du ein Video machst? Und ich zeige euch mal das Bild. Ich rücke ein bisschen zur Seite und dann seht ihr mehr von dem Bild. Das ist also ein Bild, was die Sioux im Jahr 2010 von mir gemacht hat mit meinen Krafttieren. Und jetzt kommt sie wieder am 23. August diesen Jahres und da wird sie mir ein neues malen, weil das ist ja schon ziemlich lange her. Und sie wird Sitzungen geben für euch, für alle, die möchten, die ihr Porträt mit ihren Krafttieren haben möchten. Das ist sehr spannend und die Sitzungen sind über mich buchbar, die dauern so circa 40 Minuten und kosten 165 €. Ich werde jetzt die Sioux interviewen über sie und über Krafttiere und über ihre Bilder. Und dieses Interview werde ich auf Englisch führen. Und ihr könnt die Übersetzung, ich hoffe, ich komme bald dazu, auf meinem Blog runterladen, also auf meiner Website wegezurwandlung.de und da ist sie dann auf dem Blog. Und das genaue Datum, wo die Sioux ihre Sitzungen gibt, das findet ihr auch unter Seminare auf meiner Website. Gut, ich mache jetzt weiter in Englisch. Hello, Sioux, and welcome to this interview. I'm very happy to meet you online and to ask you about totem animals and your portraits and what you are doing. And my first question is a very easy one. And the question is, what is a totem animal?
Well, many people have different viewpoints on what a totem animal is. And for me, a totem animal is a personal guide, is a guide for you.
Okay.
To help you move through things in life, Okay. The totem portrait, or not the totem portrait, excuse me, the totem, it's interesting because it also helps you define and understand your own personality, why you do the things that you do.
That's interesting.
So, yeah.
And is a totem animal the same as a power animal?
It's interesting when doing portraits. I'm asked that question an awful lot because we have 128 totems that work with us.
Okay.
There's 128 energy points to the body. Each energy point to the body has a guide, and that guide is what's moving us forward. Now, do we have power animals? Does one animal stand out more so than another? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Is there an animal we have our whole life?
I believe that in that 128, they're always with us.
Okay.
Some are in the background and some are in the foreground. It's much like the portrait behind you. A lot of those animals, they're still with you, but they're not in the foreground anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
They changed.
Yeah.
But they haven't left you.
Okay. Do they change because there are certain challenges changing, and then the others come into the foreground?
Yeah, I think that as we grow, as we evolve, as in our lives, things shift and change. When you're a child, you might have enjoyed the color blue so very much, that was your favorite color. But as you got older, you might find the color red to be more vibrant and more lively.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's those subtleties those animals have with us as well. You know,
Okay.
they move in and they'll move out. You know.
Yeah. And actually, what do they present? Are these animals, do they symbolize powers we have, or come they more in the foreground when a special power is needed in your life?
Exactly. And let me give you an example in that question. One of the times I was in a relationship and I was moving out of the house. I was ending the relationship, and I needed that confirmation that I was doing the right thing.
Okay.
And I needed that power to get myself out of the situation. And I looked out the picture window of the house and I saw two female deers, fighting, you know.
Okay.
And deers are about being gentle and kind to each other.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see them fighting, not two does, not two female deers like that. And they were standing up on their back legs and they were just fighting.
Yeah.
That's exactly what was going on within the household. You know, that fighting, that you got to move, you got to change, you got to shift. So that energy, a deer is very much one of my totems, and it was showing me, you need to leave, you need to move. And that's how I was able to connect to that in that moment. Now, not everybody's going to have that might have a deer for a totem is going to have it look out their window and see one, that. However, it will show up maybe in a different format, on a piece of paper or a television show or something. Show up somehow.
Yeah. So if you have a certain problem in life and you think a certain concrete power animal could support you, can you call this in?
Absolutely.
Could I say, bear, please help me?
Absolutely. Why not call in the energy of that totem? Yeah. There's been many times I travel a lot, and with my traveling, I get really nervous and uncomfortable with travel.
Yeah.
I love to go to places. I love seeing places. And the very first time I came to Germany, I was scared. I was so scared because I didn't know the German language. I was going to meet you for the first time in person, and I was so nervous and so scared. I was like, okay, I'm going to call that bear in.
Okay.
I'm going to call this bear in. Yeah. I'm going to call the bear because the bear is that power of protection. It's going to protect me no matter where I am. I'm going to be protected by this bear. And the bear is also about that divine feminine, that nurturing.
Okay.
Part too. It's not just the meanness and the growling and protecting. It's also that nurturing, and that's what I needed, that nurturing and guidance along the way. And what happens, I meet other people with bear energy that helped me and guided me and shifted me in along that trip.
You told me once about a very fascinating encounter you had with a bear while you were on a vision quest. Will you tell us about that story?
Sure.
A real bear.
Yes, a real bear. Well, first of all, a vision quest is, and many people might not know what a vision quest is. Yeah. It's a where you go off into nature on a journey. You can go for, some people do it just for a day, 2 days, 3 days, and you're in this wild where you are fasting, you haven't eaten, you might have water with you, and that's about it. And there's no shelter, no protection. You're just sitting there for the time period. Well, as I went, I was with there's always an overseer that watches from a distance, but they won't interfere unless you're in trouble and stuff. And so you sit, and I was sitting in Mount Shasta in Oregon, and it was fascinating to me because here I am. It's in the middle of the night. I haven't eaten. I've been there for a long time, and I hear this growl, a low growl.
Well,
And I look up, and there's a bear, and I was like, oh shit!
oh my God! Yeah.
Oh no! There's a bear, and then I hear another growl, and there was the wolf, and I was like, oh, well, it's a good day to die, I thought. You know, I had a good life. It's all right, you know. Okay. And you know, it was interesting because the two animals, they kind of just sat there and they were in a low growl talking back and forth, and I thought, well, are they talking to each other? Are they saying I'm going to get her first, or you know, or what's going on, you know? And then at one point I thought, okay, I must be just hallucinating because I have been sitting here without food for a long time. But it turned out it was truly a live bear and a live wolf sitting there and sharing their wisdom with me.
Okay. You said that you had you got from this encounter you got a different state of mind or soul, or
I did. I got an understanding of the medicine bear a little bit more so, and the understanding of that wolf, and knowing that both of those beautiful creatures are part of me. That, you know, at that point in time in my life, I wasn't teaching people. I wasn't doing a lot of teaching and a lot of different things. And I feel, if I look back at it today, that the bear was teaching me all and telling me all the things about being a medicine person, while the wolf was getting me ready to understand that I'm going to be communicating it more, because that's what wolves are about, communication, and about being a teacher and being that leader.
Great experience. Yeah, wonderful.
That's one that sometimes I sit back and I think, was that real? Did that really happen to me?
That's incredible.
And I did. I'm so grateful for that experience.
And so how do you see the totem animals of the people you paint? Do you see them really visually, or do you feel the energy, or do you hear something? How do you recognize who is there?
I see them around a person. In fact, I was asked, one of the questions that I'm asked so many times is, when did you start seeing animals, and how long, you know? And I can't tell you when I haven't been able to see animals around people. I think that it's been with me all my life in such a way that it's just second sense. It's just always there.
Okay.
And I drove my mom crazy, you know, because I would say, "Mom, look at, you know, look at that person, look at what they have," and I would just totally drive her crazy.
Okay.
She was saying, "You're just like your grandmother," you know, and stuff. So I see them and I hear them. You know, they speak when I'm painting.
Okay.
I can usually hear them speak or say some stuff. Some totems are really kind of funny because they'll go, "Don't paint me.
Don't paint me.
Don't paint me.
Don't paint me. Okay.
Don't paint me because she doesn't know about me yet, and she's not to know about me for a while."
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay. And sometimes they get on the canvas anyway. They're hidden within another animal or something along those lines, and they'll show up when they're supposed to.
Yeah. Okay. So do you see anybody around me now?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course I do. And you're going to have to wait.
Okay. They say, don't tell people who is around Gabriele. Okay. And what is, if you do a painting with the totem animals for a person, what does it serve the person to have this painting and to know about these totems?
Well, my personal belief is that you should know who's on your team. You know, you should know who's working with you. If you know who's on your team, you're going to know who to call when you're in trouble, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you are in trouble or you're trying to make a decision and you're having a difficult time, you're going to call on that totem that's on your team to know.
Yeah.
Many times, a lot of people use the totem portraits as a meditation piece, a focal point in their life, and ask for the messages from those totems and to be able to move forward.
Yeah.
So knowing who's on your team and knowing how to talk to them and work with them, that's what I believe that these totem portraits do for people. Is getting them aware of who's on their team, knowing why they might do certain things that they do. For you, in that totem portrait behind you, you have this owl.
Yeah.
And the owl is that seer deception. You know when someone's not being forthcoming to you.
Yeah.
And so when you were a little girl, you knew that, but maybe not as strong as you got older. When you got to be a teenager, you're a little bit more decisive and you were able to do it. And now it's so ingrained, it's so part of who you are that you really understand it and call on it when you need to make a decision about, should I do this or shouldn't I do this?
Okay.
Type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm very much with this owl at the moment also. Yeah. Okay. Sue, is there anything you want to tell also to add? Is there any question you would like to answer? What you miss? What I didn't ask?
Well, one of the things is, somebody, I think you asked me once if a person's power animal, is it the one that you see 4 times in a row or something like that?
Yeah, ask you that.
And that power animal is, different indigenous people, different tribes have different ways of distinguishing what your power animal is, and sometimes the animal that you're most afraid of, very, very, very most afraid of, is the animal that is one of your most powerful teachers.
Yeah.
Animal.
That's a very good thought. Yeah, I think the one you don't like the most and the one you love the most. Is that right?
Yes.
These two polarities. Yeah. So Sue will be here. And did I show the format you are painting? No, not yet. I think that's. I continue in German now. Das ist das Format, in dem die Sue, das ist noch ein anderes Bild, was sie gemalt hat von mir, in dem die Sue eure Porträts malen wird am 23. August. I just said that this is the format you do for people. I don't know the size. What is the size, Sue?
Actually, that is a very old size. I'll show you. Okay. I'll show you the size. I can tell you it in inches, but I can't give it to you in.
So tell it in inches. I can translate this.
It's 8 by 16, and it's
8 by 16
on canvas.
Inches. Okay. I have to look that up.
Here. So it'd be a size like this.
Okay. That's a different size there.
It's It's narrow and long.
Ah, okay, good. Yeah.
And it's on canvas versus being on paper.
Okay, that's good to know for our spectators. Okay, thank you very much, Sue.
Oh, thank you, and I look so much forward to seeing you.
Yeah,
Bye.
me too. Yeah, and okay, I will talk a little bit in German to say goodbye to our spectators, and yes, then we end the whole video. So, meine Lieben, also ich werde das übersetzen und ihr solltet bald Termine machen, weil es sind auch schon welche weg. Also das ist sehr beliebt, was die Sue macht mit diesen Totem-Porträts. Und dann hören wir uns und sehen wir uns. Und danke für euer Interesse. And bye, bye, Sue.